Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel guys. I've done so much recording on this series, the Sandveld conversion series. I'm actually lost track on the episodes. I've got an idea that this is episode 11, so yeah, let's just don't hold me to it. If you see episode 10 or 12 there at the bottom, don't hold me to it, as I say. Anyways, if this is your first time on my channel, a warm welcome to you. Just do remember to like and subscribe. I do really appreciate. And like I say, a warm welcome to you, man. It's great to have you. Great, guys. So we are back on Sandveld and just continuing the build. The very last thing I want to do, well, I won't say very last, but one of the last things I want to do for the map is to do this cell points here. And then the other thing together with that, or maybe in the next video, I'm not too sure. We'll just see what the time constraints look like. And then is obviously to balance all the cell points with the multi-fruit. Because if you add multi-fruit to any map, then you definitely have to add those multi-fruit to all your cell points. Because otherwise you can't get rid of it in game. And then what's the point? So for this map, we have 8, I think: millet, rye, carrot, onion, poppy, hops, and clover. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra fruits. Where's the alfalfa? There's supposed to be alfalfa as well. I don't see the alfalfa here. Oh, there it is. Huh? No, that's clover. Millet, cotton, sugarcane, oat, barley, wheat. I'm pretty sure there it is. I was just going to say, what happened to the alfalfa? There's supposed to be alfalfa as well. All right, so there's 8 of them, guys. 8 multi-fruits on this map that I've added. And we have to add those to every cell point that I want to have the fruits appear. So wherever there's a cell point that needs to have, or where you want to sell your multi-fruit or your extra fruits that you've added, so you have to manually do that as well. So we get to that. All right, so now, first things first. We've got this train silo here that we want to use to sell our goodies. So we need a place where we can tip into the silo. We've got one where we can take out of the silo there, that side, and then we've got one here where we can put into the train. So that is the 2 things that we've done. And remember in our previous episode, we saw that this pipe was off center to the track. So I don't know how they do the tracks in that game. Maybe they've got like a split and then come up and then another split back in, that type of thing. So the train comes very close. But if you look at this, how tiny little space there is here, so I don't know. I don't want to bring this track closer to the road or to the building. Sorry, it just doesn't make sense to me. So what I've done to make the things a bit more look better is I've put this type of a funnel thing here where the fruit or whatever you load into the train is now going to come flying out from this roof section, so yeah, it's not perfect, but to me it makes sense. If you're underneath, remember, you're not going to climb on the roof, you're always going to be here, so all you'll see is these 2 pipes, so or the 2 connections here, and the one is going to obviously fall, chuck the fruit in there. All right, so here we go. Let's get busy with this silo. So the best is to have a look at the original sort of silo that we've imported. Now this guy is, where is it now? It's definitely not a collectible. So I don't know why it's open collectible. I've opened this thing here, Sandveld. So that's not trees. Could be under placeables. Where did I put it? It should be at the bottom. Here we go. So it is grain silo Railroad 01. So let's just make a note of that and go find it. I've got an idea that it's off. I took it out of the it must be out of the US map. So let's have a quick browse there. So we're going to go to data and then map placeables and map US. Here we go. So railroad storage 01. So it must be that one. All right. So we have a trigger for it and an XML already. That's what I like when you have when you make use of the in-game stuff. The triggers are already set up for them. So you export the building out of the map like I've done, and then you have the trigger here. But this trigger, unfortunately, is not going to work for me because we don't have a loading space. This is only unloading. So this trigger is definitely oh, but wait a second, what is that thing there? There's a square here. There is 3 of them. All right, let's just have a look. So there's road. Yes, the road has a load. There's a load that where you load your stuff, and an unload station, so you can bring stuff to it. So this is going to be perfect, guys. All right, so we're going to grab this one. All right, so let's just save. No, we don't want to save because it's in-game stuff, but we do want to copy this. So we Control C on this, bring it into our map under XML, Control V, and I'm going to leave the name because it's pretty standard railroad storage silo. So that just is the name of the XML, and there's only going to be the one of them, so we're not going to have another one. So that's perfectly all right with me. And then obviously now we can now close this up and then import that i3D that we just saw. So we're going to file, go import placeables, map US, railroad storage silo 01, and bring it into the map. And this is what's so nice, you know. So we're going to grab this now and drop it on our placeholders. Remember, it's triggers only, so it must go into the placeholders for it to work, because otherwise you're going to have a problem. And we grab it here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to align this thing exactly as they have it in the US map. So I'm going to go Control B just to bring the trigger here, and then find out how did these guys have it. So it is there, obviously. It must be something of the kind. And then I want to just see where the road is. That's the road side. Unloading station is there. So it is very strange that they have this this whole thing there. I'm not sure of that, but as we go along, I will definitely get to the bottom of it. So first of all, let's just get this 2 pipes aligned with our building. All right, so let's go in there, and I just want to sort of get this thing. It looks very much parallel, although it could maybe turn a little bit like that, but we're going to swing it in any way. Just closer we can get it to being parallel to the building, the better, because then there's going to be less fiddling between the 2 pipes, you know, to get them aligned. Great, so now let's go in there. I honestly don't see how on earth do you get your vehicle in there to unload, because this is inside the building. How do you get in the building? You see, this trigger is there in the building, which makes me think that this trigger doesn't fit this building. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, let's not bother with that. We're going to customize it anyway, so don't worry about it. That's what we do, guys. That's what you are here for. That's why you watch my videos, because we're going to mess around with it a bit. Good. All right. I want this thing to go to the top of this pipe so I can properly align it like so. And I think that should be all right. And this cone obviously is just for the smoke. These cones are the smoke of when you unload, guys. So it looks like a type of a whirlwind thing, but it's actually for the unload. Oh my word, Jana, this is really not the case here. So I wonder if this is even the right thing. Let me, for fun, you know what, it honestly doesn't matter. We've got 3 triggers, that's what we want, so don't worry about it. So now the first thing, we've now aligned this road trigger. Okay, the road side, the unloading, no, the loading, sorry. It's the loading side, that is perfect. Now the unloading of the road, we can put that down here somewhere. So I'm going to go Control B on this for Bravo and drop it here into the clear area here somewhere. So I wonder where should we, I'm going to rather put it here, because it's going to be close to, got to be close to, how can I say, where we want the stuff to go into this building and make sense, you know, because we're going to put a grid down here, obviously, to make sense of it all. But I think maybe we should just get that grid in here first. Just want to get this thing a little bit more aligned. It can come back a tiny bit, but I think I'm like splitting hairs now over this thing's alignment, you know. All right, I think that is fine like that. Now, a grid we can put on, there's a grid with a lid and there's a grid without the lid. So it's your choice, you know, what you want. So I'm going to go import, I think, the grid without the lid. So let's go import just to get it into the map. And that will be under, is it map US selling station generic? No, it's not in there. That's for the farmers market. Where was that? It's under placeables, selling station generic, no cover. Here it is. There's the one with the cover, and this is the one without the cover. So we bring that in. We're not going to have it as part of the map of the trigger, because we don't need it as part of the trigger. It can be there permanently because it's a permanent fixture. So I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to drop it into my Sandveld under placeables. That's where I want to put it. Just put it in there as a permanent fixture. Control B and bring it in here. Alright, so now I can put this roughly close to where I want to have the trigger, and then I'll just realign the trigger with that. And now we're busy with that alignment again, guys. You'll also say, but this guy is like fanatical about its alignment. But quite frankly, I honestly, I'm not very chuffed with the thing that's like skew, you know. And I'm sure you'll understand, and also maybe feel like that, you know. Not too happy with stuff that doesn't align. It drives me crazy if the thing is skew. Oh, anyway, so back to our trigger. Now the unloading station. Yo, I must honestly be, that was close. Eh? Look at that. That was really close. Be honest, it is really close. So we can just bring this sort of into alignment. I'm pretty happy with that, really. So we've got that one going. We've got this one up. That's our second one. And then our last one is just for the train to unload, or to load the train. I always get confused. Is it load or is it unload, you know? Train. Loading, station train, unload train. Alright, so unload train has got a grain gate. Now what happens is, this is a link node in the XML for this. It's going to call that same trigger. It's got a trigger for the train grain gate that it's going to put in place. So we have to align this whole train thing like that, because we have to have all this stuff all in one spot. Alright. So bear that in mind. You can't move just the loading or the unloading. All right. So it's all in one place, and we want to align it perfectly over the center of the track this time. We're not going to worry about the pipe as long as it's over the center of the track. Okay. So here we go, because it needs to be exactly in the center of the track, because that gate, that grain gate that comes in here, it's got two grooves that fits over these tracks, and if you don't have it aligned in the center of the track, it looks pretty horrible, you know. So do the best you can to get it in the center. It looks like centered to me. If I have a look at like that, I think that will be fine. And then now that we've got it that way, we can now bring it back just to sort of align with this drum thing here. All right. Now I know for a fact that that is going to be way too low. So we're going to sort of have a look at the height of this pipe, and then bring this whole thing up to, oh my word, look how high that is. That is the actual trigger down here. That is way. Why is it so high? Maybe this thing, sure. There's something wrong here, guys. It can't be that high. Look at where the trigger is down here. And that trigger, I know, it must just be like that, just on the ground, like that. That is where it should be. But that is just crazy high. I'm going to leave it like that. We can come and adjust it again afterwards. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look nicely. We're going to probably have to come back and fix this, because it just doesn't make sense that that trigger is right there at the bottom. If we have a look at the grain gate link node, you see that is also now here at the bottom. So I don't understand, guys. I don't understand. Maybe this building. You know what? I think what happened is this building was on a hill, and this track of the train, or it was elevated, and this track was lower. That is why it's so high. All right, so let's just fix it now, because otherwise we're going to get a problem. So unloading station train is there. We're going to leave that ease. So what we're going to do then is grab this thing and align the top first with this box here as best as we can, like that. And then a loading station train is going to stay there. Unload station train. So unload station train is level with this. So I'm just thinking of the best way to do this, because that things is going to be difficult to align if we don't have it here. All right. So what we're going to do then is take the loading station train, bring this down like so. I think that should be all right, somewhere there. And then just look at the teleport node. Doesn't really matter. That's just where the little man teleports. Control B. I'm just going to drop that in there onto the platform. Grain gate link node should be all right. So all of that should now be fine. Road is on the other side. My wife has brought me a cup of coffee. Thanks, honey. And then, yeah, I think that is now perfect. If I have a quick browse at it. Loading station train. What's in here? Loading trigger marker train. This is going to be underground, so that's not going to work. So we're going to have to bring this up to ground level. That's the trigger marker. Going to bring it up a little bit. Icon, yeah, it can stay up there. Maybe bring it up a little bit more. Doesn't really matter. Just so it's like hanging in the air is also good. And then just go through this. So that's our loading trigger. There's all right. Discharge node, discharge effect. All right. I think that's all good, guys. I'm going to leave it like that now. We've got everything in place. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this whole thing now. As is, it's a custom trigger now. You see it's got all the stuff into it now, customized for this setup here. And we're going to go file export selection with files. And then we go into our map, which is Sandveld. There it is. And then placeables. This is still train. So I'm going to think, should I make, I'm just going to say a new folder here. Rail road. I'll just call it trigger for now. It doesn't really matter where it is or what. So as long as we know what it is and what it does, and then we can just call it cell point maybe station. Cell point station. That's just for the i3D. All right, because we're going to create this i3D now. And when it asks you the questions, Yes to both, please, because we keep everything in game. And that is all we need to do here, unless we have to come back and modify, guys. So now we're done here. I'm going to save the map. And now, while the map is saving, we're going to have a look at that R3D that we just created. So now in order to do that, we want to go back to mods, Sandveld, go into placeables. I'm leaving this screen for me here by my XMLs just to make things a bit more easier. And then we now put it in there, and there's our new R3D. So now we have to open this, guys. Very, very important step. Do not miss this step. You will be disappointed. Yummy. Grab something nice to drink, guys, and join me. And now you can clearly see this is supposed to have the trigger in it here in the center of the screen. But because it's got the map's coordinates, we now need to delete these and make them 0, all of them, as well as the rotation, because otherwise you're not going to find your little triggers on the map where you want them. Save the R3D, close it up, and you're all done in there. Now, every time you come in here and you change something, remember this one here in the placeholders transform is not being loaded into the map. It's just here in the R3D, in the editor. But the map ignores this one because of the placeholder script. So if you do changes here, you have to re-export it, overwrite that one in your map folder, save your map, and then you open that one exactly as we did now and re-zero it, because every time you export it, it's going to take this coordinates here of the actual thing's position and put it into the R3D that you've created. So you have to zero it, because this coordinates we're going to put into the XML that calls, so into the placeables XML that calls this line or this cell point. And that's what we're going to do now. So I hope you understand that portion of the whole thingamabob. So railroad storage silo 01. This is the XML now. And now I'm going to show you it calls this R3D, which is the original, but we want to call the one in our map folder. So we're going to go back this way, go in here, into the R3D we created. Click here on top at the address bar, and then from your map folder, everything behind your map name. So you copy that, Control C for Charlie, come back into the XML, and you overwrite everything up to that last R3D name. Control and V for Victor. Change the backslashes to forward slashes, very important. Don't forget that part. And then take the name that you've saved your R3D. So we copy that, Control C once again for Charlie, back into the XML, double click, Control V for Victor, and there you go. So now what's happening is this XML that is set up in, or not set up yet, but the XML that we're going to call is this XML is going to load this cell point for us, this R3D that we've modified. Okay, and then I just want to see now, I want to show you a hotspots, dynamically loaded parts. Here we go. Train unloading pit. Oh, so it's actually Grain Gate Link Node Road. You see, it's actually got one. I didn't see that. All right, so we can actually I wonder where it's going to load that thing now. It is just the one with no cover. As you can see, it's the same one we've loaded. So it's got the dynamically loaded parts, and the positioning is there. So, oh my word, I should have seen that. So all we can do now is just grab the positioning of that link node and put it in here. So let's just have a look at that quick. I want to show you how to do it the right way. We've now manually loaded this grain gate, which is perfectly all right, but the XML already calls one. So you can, if you want, you can just delete this line and it will ignore that whole cover, which is also fine. But I want to show you the right way, just in case you wanted to do it that way, you know, as it was intended. It still doesn't explain how that thing ended up in the building, remember? So I'm not too sure what's going on there. But anyway, something not to worry about too much. So road, then we've got the unload station, which is this one. And then in here you will find that grain gate thing, grain gate link node road. You see, there it is. So that is now where it's going to load this thingamabob. So what we do is we grab this coordinates for it. So click on the first one, Control Shift and C for Charlie. Hold it in. Come back to the XML and just give it this new coordinates like that. Just overwrite. So it's Control and V for Victor. And you can round it off to this first or 2 digits. So that will be 2. And this will be 8. Like so. And this one will be 16. So we just leave it there like that. All right. 732, 188 and 416. So now it will load this cover. It's a dynamically loaded part. It's got no functionality, but it will load it there for you, and pops your uncle. It will work like a charm. So what we can do now, obviously, once again, is grab this grain gate and just delete it like so, which means that I'm going to have to save my map again. All right, so there it is. Grain gate link node road is there. All good. That's why it's important to move the part together, you know, because otherwise you're gonna end up with a thing that's in the wrong place. So you have to move all the stuff together as one thing. Okay. So now that we've got that, and then just before I save the map again, I want to just fix my start position. Your map start position, I keep on forgetting, it's called career start point, is when you start your map the very first time, not the save game, but the very first time you start your map, you get to choose where that player is going to find himself, you know, in the world and the greater scheme of things. So I like to maybe put the guy here in the veld somewhere where he needs to stroll back to the farm and see a few nice things on his way, you know. Control B on that for Bravo. And then a tip, guys, between the red and the blue is your viewpoint. So if you want to know what way the guy's going to face, between the red and the blue is the direction that he will face. And we're going to test that now. We are facing roughly to that tree there. All right. So that is what that is all about. So let's save the map once again. Back to our XML work. We've changed the R3D, which is, don't worry about it. We haven't modified anything in the XML. So it all should be good. Now, the line to call this is obviously in the map US placeables. So I think I've got the map US placeables. Here it is. Now we find that selling station or railroad silo or whatever that thing is called. So let's just have a look. It must be here somewhere. Storage silo, here we go. So this is the line, silo 1. So we copy this line into our map. Control C for Charlie. Into our placeables, I'm going to just drop it in here. Put train, Control V for Victor. And now once again, our XML directory is not in the in-game maps anymore. It is now under map.xml. Remember, we placed it in there. So we copy that and we drop this in to overwrite this boy here. Control V. Remember, we left the name the same, so that's all right. Now this line here pulls this XML, executes this XML. So that XML calls the R3D that we've modified. But it takes this positioning. So we need to take that whole railroad silo, the position and rotation, and put it in here. So back to that again. So it's under gameplay, placeholders. Right at the bottom is our railroad silo. So there it is. And we grab this Control Shift C for that one, back into there, overwrite the position data. That's our position data right there. And then back into rotation, grab the rotation, Control Shift C, the same drill, back into the XML, paste it in there. Good, there you go. So that is now the railroad silo set up. We can also call, let's just finish this first. So I'm going to save that as is. Copy this name here from the XML. So after your map there, so you want all your directories, including the XML, right to the end of the name of the XML, like that. Copy that. Go into your Moddesk, grab an open line. If you don't have one, you first have to create a few of them. I've got 3 of them here that's spare still. So I'm going to just drop it over this. Control and V for Victor. And there you go, guys. I'm going to give a space there to separate the blanks. This is 2 more blanks that I've got left. It's just a copy of that one there. So I'll just make a few copies. It doesn't matter if you've got 1 or 10 of them. It's just store items. It loads it into your store, and it won't load 2 of them into the store. I hope not. I'm not 200% sure. Just going back to this station name, I want to just name this station of us something else, you know. So this is Leopoldville. Leopoldville. Like that. Station. So I'm going to call it Leopoldville Station. It's the actual cell point. So when you open your maps thingamabob, you will get the name of the station. And I think I've got a sign here, big sign here, BKB Leopoldville. So this will be Leopoldville, the area, and Leopoldville Station is there. You see there's BKB Leopoldville. So that is the station for it, and it should all be well. Alright, so let us test all of that, guys. Make sure that it works. I just want to lastly see that I've saved everything. Very important. You can't test if you haven't saved. Collapse all, and let's go into game. Right, guys, here we are in the game, and you can see our stations are named Leopoldville and Grafwater. That's our 2 entry and exit points going in there. And then in here, Sandbergstasie, we're going to go visit that. All seems well. There's our grid, all looking good, and our cell points, or can I say loading spots. Yeah, the train is coming as well, looking good. Our caller is there, and that all works. We know we've tested that. All this is looking very good. However, this grid, yeah, it's acceptable. It is a bit high off the ground, but I'll let that slide for now. And our loading spot there, obviously also offloading. And no, that's loading, it's not offloading. Offloading here, loading there. Good. So yes, all seems to be all in order and working well. Great, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is now obviously the end of episode 10, I believe. It wasn't 11, it is 10. So, yes, guys, so let's carry on in the next episode, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and do share my stuff if you appreciate it and enjoy it. And also do consider supporting on Patreon. I do really appreciate that. Take care, guys. Have an awesome day, man. Cheers.